On the Donetsk axis, operators of Ukraine's Rayrog 427th Unmanned Systems Regiment have successfully halted an enemy assault by striking armored vehicles and key engineering equipment critical to the offensive. The operation disrupted the adversary's attempt to advance toward Ukrainian forces' positions and effectively neutralized the assault group's mobility and protection. According to the report, Ukrainian drone operators targeted and disabled several enemy tanks and armored vehicles, as well as rare and tactically important MTU-20 bridge-laying vehicle. The loss of this vehicle played a decisive role in stopping the assault, as it was intended to enable armored units to overcome terrain obstacles during the advance. Without armored cover and engineering support, enemy infantry units were left exposed and unable to continue coordinated offensive actions. This deprived the assault groups of both protection and maneuverability, making further attempts to advance operationally unfeasible in that sector. Footage of the combat operation was published on December 20th via the official channel of the Unmanned Systems Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The video documents precise drone strikes against armored targets, underscoring the growing effectiveness of Ukrainian unmanned systems in countering mechanized assaults. The MTU-20 is a Soviet-era tank bridge layer developed on the chassis of the T-55 medium tank. It is designed to rapidly deploy a single-span metal bridge with a load capacity of up to 50 tons, allowing armored units to cross obstacles up to 18 meters wide without dismounting the crew. Such vehicles are especially valuable in offensive operations, as they enable tanks and armored vehicles to bypass anti-tank ditches, small rivers, and destroyed infrastructure. Their presence often signals preparations for an organized armored push rather than limited infantry probing. The systematic work of the Rayrog Regiment weakens the enemy's offensive potential and provides the defense forces with a tactical advantage in designated sectors of the front, the Unmanned Systems Forces stated. After weeks of repeated claims by the Russian political leadership that Kupansk city had been captured, reality hit hard. The Ukrainians recently demonstrated that the town was not under Russian control at all, but had been quietly cleared of enemy forces, prompting President Zelensky to visit Kupansk in person. The operation began with a carefully planned campaign aimed at isolating Russian forces inside and around Kupansk through devastating airstrikes. Ukrainian air power focused on preventing reinforcements from crossing the Oskil River and sustaining the Russian bridgehead north of the city, cutting the lifeline before moving in on the town itself. Geolocated footage shows a Ukrainian F-16 striking Russian troops near Hryanivka as they attempted to move across the river. Another concentration was destroyed near Holubivka when J-dam bombs from a Ukrainian F-16 annihilated a group mid-crossing. Ukrainian aircraft continued to hit ammunition depots, troop clusters, and drone operator positions, steadily dismantling Russia's ability to support its units already deployed in Kupiansk. The second stage targeted the land corridor south of Dvorichna, which Russian forces had been using to infiltrate Kupiansk, where Ukrainians aimed to create a bottleneck around the town. Ukrainian assault teams moved in, clearing forest belts and structures one by one. Geolocated combat footage shows Russian soldiers being eliminated or captured, providing Ukrainian commanders with valuable intelligence on enemy plans and remaining force dispositions. Russia attempted to counter this by pushing reinforcements across the river, but at extreme difficulty and high cost. One of the largest attempts ended disastrously when a Russian assault group using all-terrain vehicles and motorcycles was detected by Ukrainian drones and destroyed, leaving 22 soldiers and 14 vehicles lost in minutes. Realizing that the momentum was rapidly shifting in Ukraine's favor, Russia tried a more indirect response by striking the Pechenihy dam to halt Ukrainian movements and sabotage the flow of logistics to their counterattacks. Despite this, Ukrainian commanders were the ones turning geography into an advantage. Ukrainian units quickly liberated Rodkivka and Kindrashivka, followed by operations in Moskilivka and the northwestern outskirts of Kupiansk itself. Fighting there was intense and prolonged, with Russian forces reduced to scattered enclaves. Infantry assaults supported by drones pushed the enemy back block by block, forcing withdrawals into the center. Ukrainian drone operators continued to play a decisive role locating and striking small groups attempting to fortify their positions and prevent the Ukrainian advance. Russian drone activity increased in kind, as one related video shows Ukrainian soldiers clearing buildings while coming under attack from a Russian FPV drone. Fortunately, despite heavy fire and the drone not being shot down, the strike missed as all Ukrainian troops survived and continued on their mission. After the Russian remnants were concentrated and reinforcement roads cut off, the Ukrainians decided it was time to finish the remain of Russian forces. As a result, units of the 2nd National Guard Corps, Kartia, reinforced by Special Operations Forces, liberated over 40 square kilometers. Soon after, President Zelensky visited the outskirts of Kupansk to personally deny past Russian claims of victory. Together with Syrskyi, he met the frontline command, awarding soldiers and declaring that Kupansk remains Ukrainian. Weeks earlier, Putin claimed that Kupansk and even Pechenihy had already fallen, calling on international journalists to visit and verify the Russian captures. Zelensky answered that bluff by going to Kupansk himself, a mere 500 meters from where Russians claimed they held full control, proving that the town remains under the Ukrainian flag. With only isolated Russian groups still hiding and being hunted down, Kupiansk's clearing has not only dismantled a potential Russian military foothold, but also shattered a key enemy claim at a decisive political moment.